Camera ready. Roller. Cut me off. Action in 3, 2, 1.
We have an exciting show for you today, full of interesting topics and loads of information.
We sure do, Taija. I think they're really going to like it. FSM News starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to FSM News, and my name is Taija Gatewood.
And I'm Britney Martin.
Hey Britney, you know how drugs affect the community?
No, but I've seen a couple of people do drugs.
Well, drugs have such a negative impact and can destroy communities and ruin lives.
Wow, I didn't know drugs had such a negative impact on people.
Yeah, it does, but Justin Patterson could explain more in detail.
Drug abuse not only affects the people doing them, but also it is often accompanied by a devastating social impact upon community life, such as broken homes, violent crimes, and unsafe zones.
I've seen drug users, and I have been involved with drug users, not per se with me doing the drugs at that time.
I have a couple of drug users that are in my family. It has affected us because it brings a lot of dysfunction, like at family reunions or parties and such, they get outraged and cause a lot of fights.
Seen drug users all my life. It affected me because I come from that environment, coming from 79th Street, Chicago, South Side.
I've seen a person after they done drugs and the behavior was very sporadic. It was good and bad, Dr. Jekyll and Hyde, pretty much.
Basically, death, incarceration, homelessness, addiction, sickness.
People are dying because of drugs. I see people laying on the streets or asking for money so they can go get drugs.
9 times out of 10, if it's easier to access, it's easier to get, which means it's easier to use.
People don't accept the fact that they're on drugs. I think that's what the problem is. They're so much in denial, and if they had acceptance, then maybe they could get help.
With what's going on nowadays, with people getting killed because of drugs and the selling and use, I feel like it hurts the community because a lot of our youth are dying because of drugs. I believe that if it wasn't portrayed as propaganda in the music industry as well as movies, I don't think it would be used as much. But because it is, they're using it. So
we're very vulnerable, and when we don't know, we don't do better. So if we know better, we'll do better. We're very vulnerable. So we'll basically do anything.
Drugs can have both mentally and physical impacts that can ruin one's life. Can it be prevented?
You could take it away. You could have the police pull people over, but it's still going to be access to it.
Reporting for FSM News, I am Justin Patterson.
Wow, you was right. Drugs really can affect people badly.
Yeah, it sure does, but when people take the wrong drug, it can affect their brain as well.
Yep, I know someone who went to school and couldn't even get a good education because of drugs.
Dang, that's sad, but education has changed so much over time.
Yeah, it has, but let's stop talking and let Almighty Ashford take over.
A lot more emphasis should be placed on what that individual person wants to do with their life or what their particular interests are.
Yeah, I think that when we're adults, what we learn in school will be really important. So like things like math and like counting, we will be good for like financial things and stuff.
I would like to see more life skill type classes, like teaching kids how to eat healthy, teaching kids how to do like simple basic things like sew and iron, like things that I never learned how to do, but things that I need to know how to do now.
I think there's some basic financial information kids should know. Bank accounts, how to spend your money, how to save your money, just general information about our country's tax system, what taxes really are, the difference between public and private sectors.
I'm not sure that any generation before us really had kind of practical skills. We had students who left high school knowing how to do like welding and sewing and like other like life skills like that, like things that they could use to take care of their houses and cars and things that we don't necessarily have anymore. But I think we're as prepared as anyone, which means we're not prepared. And which means that we spend the next 10 years figuring out how to be 40 and sad.
That was interesting. I didn't know that the educational system has changed so much over time.
You can really tell how much it has changed based on the outside world.
But you want to know what hasn't changed over time?
What?
People being bullied and judged based off their physical appearance.
Well, let's hear from Daria Blakely to learn more about this.
Girl, I cannot wait to graduate. Like, girl, I'm so sick of school. It's gonna be dry in my school when since graduate. She bogus. We are talking about girl Daria Bombshell. Oh my god.
Y'all should not be talking about her. That is really wrong. Y'all know what she go through.
Girl.
She just blew me.
But she do got a point though.
You think?
Yeah.
You think we should go apologize?
That's so wrong, the way people treat others based off the way they look.
Yeah, it really is. That's why I don't judge others.
Yeah, me either, because I always say treat people the way you want to be treated.
For example, don't take people's organs because you wouldn't want anyone taking yours.
Britney, what are you talking about? You came out of nowhere with that.
I'm talking facts, Taija. Didn't you know people are taking organs without permission?
No, I actually didn't. That's kind of weird, but at the same time, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is. And Nakara Fasier can tell us how it's done.
Hey Nina.
Hey Nakara.
Guess what I just seen on Twitter?
What?
Police in New Delhi made a lot of arrests because there was an organ trafficking scheme operating out of a hospital.
More details.
Investigators say that the traffickers have been recruiting people all over India.
Can you tell me more about organ trafficking?
Yes. Did you know organ trafficking is the trade of human organs, tissues, or other body parts? Traffickers usually deceive the victims into giving up an organ. Traffickers also usually cheat their victims by making them agree to give an organ, but they don't pay them for the organ. Organ trade is a very organized crime. You need many people to complete the process, therefore, the people behind the crime are rarely exposed. That means no justice for the victims. The World Health Organization released a report stating that over 10,000 organs were sold on the black market. Organs sold illegally are most likely to catch diseases like HIV or hepatitis B. The patient and organ survival rate is also lower than the legal process of organ transplant.
Oh, now I understand more about organ trafficking. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was so wild. And you know what else is wild?
What?
The type of shoes people used to wear back in the day.
You just keep talking about all these random things.
Yeah, but I can't lie, those shoes were kind of ugly.
Now that I think about it, they were.
Shoes really have evolved so much over time.
Well, let's hear from Jalen Young and Ashley Shelton with more about it.
Hello and welcome to the FSM Sports Corner. I'm Jalen Young.
And I'm Ashley Shelton.
Today we'll be talking about the history of shoes. Back in the day, I don't know how the people could walk. They had no foot.
Remember Dr. J Converse?
Yeah, how did he play with them? I know his feet was hurting. The shoe had good traction for the old school course, but they had no cushion.
And I don't know how Will scored 100 in those old shoes he had.
About basketball, what about them old football cleats? I know them cleats had their feet hurting after every game. They had a metal frame for the spikes, but it had no foot support.
And you're right, them cleats were bad, but they got them Yeezy cleats too.
Man, forget Yeezys. Let's talk about Jordans.
Get your hands off my Jordans!
They was the best shoe to wear back in the day. They were the first player shoe to introduce Nike Zoom.
I agree with you. Jordans was and still are one of the best athletic shoes for support, comfort, and style.
Now Jordans are coming out with remastered shoes with better leather and bringing out girl exclusives.
Finally, they showing love for the ladies.
They even put better traction on girls' shoes so they can be stylish and play better on the court. That's all for today's Sports Corner. Tune in next time for our music, sports, fashion, and pop culture.
Well, that's our show for today. Check us out on KNTV Channels 19. And you can also find us on ABC7 Chicago website in the community section.
Viewers can also find us on Facebook. Just search FSM News.
In 3,
2, 1. That's a wrap.
Free Spirit Media cultivates diverse youth voices to transform media and society.